Ibadan.
The news.
Good evening. I am Josephine Oluyole. Reading with me is
Adetoke Oluyole.
We're both bringing you Newscope, a daily news program of in-depth reports, interviews, and commentaries. First, the highlights. President Tinubu taxed Muslims on patriotism in Islamic New Year message.
Governor Makinde again pledges rescue of Oluyole hostages.
Court rejects Yahya Bello's bid to stop 110 billion naira fraud trial.
United States-Iran deal to be signed in Switzerland on Friday.
Now the details. President Tinubu has extended greetings to Muslims in Nigeria and across the world on the occasion of the Islamic New Year, 1st Muharram 1448 AH, urging citizens to embrace patriotism and good citizenship. In a statement issued today by his Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga, the President congratulated the Muslim Ummah as they marked the beginning of a new Hijra year, which coincides with June the 16th, 2026. President Tinubu said the Islamic New Year offers an opportunity for reflection on the virtues of the Hijra, including the migration of Prophet Muhammad from Mecca to Medina. According to him, the lessons of the Hijra, including sacrifice, renewal, patience, and faith in Allah's divine plan, remain relevant to efforts aimed at building a peaceful, just, and prosperous nation. The President admonishes all Nigerians, particularly the Muslim faithfuls, to embrace the spirit of the new year by rededicating themselves to the ideals of good citizenship. He urged acts of kindness, tolerance, honesty, and devotion to duty as necessary contributions to national unity, security, and development. President Tinubu also prayed for peace, prosperity, and divine guidance for Nigeria in the new Islamic year.
Muslims across Nigeria and the world have commenced the Islamic New Year 1448 AH, marking one of the most significant events in Islamic history, the migration of Prophet Muhammad and his companions from Mecca to Medina. The Hijra, which marks the beginning of Islamic lunar calendar, remains a symbol of faith, sacrifice, patience, and religious freedom. Staff reporter Adebayo Abdurrafi reports on the significance and lessons of the historic event.
The Islamic calendar dates back to the historic migration of Prophet Muhammad from Mecca to Medina in 622 CE. The migration followed years of persecution, oppression, and social boycott endured by early Muslims in Mecca. According to the Holy Quran, Surah At-Tawbah, chapter 9, verse 20, Allah praises those who believe, migrate, and strive in His cause, promising them immense rewards. Islamic scholars, including a lecturer in the Department of Arabic and Islamic Studies, University of Ibadan, Dr. Mikhail Abdussalam, and the Director General, World Islamic Peace Foundation, Sheikh Salahuddin Busairi, describe Hijra as more than a physical movement from one city to another. They say it represents a transition from hardship to hope, persecution to freedom, and despair to divine fulfillment.
The importance or the significance of that Hijra, so it symbolizes religious freedom, whereby Muslims were not allowed to perform their religion freely. They were chased away from their comfort zone to a land whereby the people of Medina embraced them, even despite the fact that they lost everything in Mecca. They could not go with their wives, they could not go with their wealth. In fact, we have in the history some of them.
The significance of Hijra has to do with our spirituality, and what is plaguing the whole world of today. We need to embrace the principle of Hijra.
Dr. Abdussalam explains that for 13 years, Prophet Muhammad and his followers endured persecution in Mecca without resorting to violence. He notes that many Muslims left their homes and possessions behind in search of religious freedom, finding refuge in Medina, where they were warmly received by the Ansar, known as the helpers. According to him, the Prophet's eventual peaceful return to Mecca remains a testament to the virtues of patience, forgiveness, and steadfastness.
One of the addresses that the prophet addressed the companion is to let them aware, to know that this religion exercise, this hijrah, it must be done because of Allah. Meaning that whatever we want to do, or whatever we do as an act of ibadah, let us be sincere with it. Don't let us attach any rewardable thing to it. Whether we do it for human being or we do it for Allah, do it with sincerity of purpose.
Sheikh Busari says one of the most profound lessons of hijrah is sincerity of intention in all acts of worship and service. He explains that hijrah represents not only physical migration, but also a spiritual journey from disobedience to obedience and from self-interest to service to humanity. The Islamic scholar adds that Nigerians can draw valuable lessons from the occasion by embracing honesty, righteousness, and accountability in their daily lives.
Whatever you do on this world, you will account for it in a year after. So that is what hijrah is out to. Whenever we are celebrating hijrah, it's reminding us of the need to be conscious of God all the time.
He says the essence of hijrah calls on individuals to abandon negative tendencies and embrace values that promote peace, justice, and harmonious coexistence. As Muslims begin the year 1448 AH, religious leaders urge believers to reflect on the enduring lessons of sacrifice, patience, sincerity, and devotion to Allah. They maintained that the true spirit of hijrah lies not only in commemorating a historic migration, but also in undertaking a personal journey towards moral excellence and a better society. For Muslims across the world, the new hijrah year serves as a reminder that every challenge presents an opportunity for renewal, and that faith, patience, and righteousness remains pathways to success in this world and in the hereafter. Adebayo Abdurrafi, BCOS News.
President Tinubu has stated that Nigeria will not surrender any territory to criminals, while commending the Nigerian Armed Forces and other security agencies for the successful operations which led to the elimination of a notorious bandit leader, Ibrahim Batsuji. The president also hailed the rescue of Ajia Amina Abubakar, widow of the late former Chief of Defense Information, retired Major General Rabi Abubakar. It was reported that security forces killed the notorious bandit kingpin and his fighters while they were allegedly planning to attack a school and residents of Iluke Bono and Kaba, Bono local government area of Kogi State. According to the president, Batsudi had been linked to violent attacks, kidnappings, and other criminal activities that had caused hardship for residents of Kogi State and neighboring communities. The president noted that the neutralization of the bandit kingpin would help restore public confidence and provide relief to communities affected by insecurity. President Tinubu also reaffirmed his administration's commitment to supporting the military and other security agencies in the fight against banditry, kidnapping, and violent crimes.
The Federal Ministry of Education has dismissed reports alleging that the Nigerian Education Management Information System was hacked, describing their claims as inaccurate and misleading. The platform remains secure and was never subjected to any cyber attack. The ministry was responding to a report titled Suspected Cyber Attacks Aids Federal Government's Education Data Platform, which suggested that the education data system may have been compromised. According to the ministry, the temporary warning message observed by some users resulted from the Secure Sockets Layer SSL certificate configuration issue at the hosting level and not from any form of security breach. It explained that while the issue affected the platform's secure access certification, it did not lead to unauthorized access, data loss, record alteration, or exposure of sensitive information.
The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board (JAM) has announced the release of results for the 2026 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination (UTME) map-up exercise. JAM spokesperson Fabian Benjamin disclosed this in a statement issued today, noting that candidates who sat for the examination can now access their results through the board's approved result checking platforms. According to him, the release of the map-up results marks the completion of the examination process, paving the way for the next phase of admissions. He added that the printing of result slips required for admission processing is expected to commence before the end of the week. The board also expressed gratitude to candidates, parents, and other stakeholders for their understanding and cooperation throughout the examination period.
The Oyo State Governor, Engineer Seyi Makinde, has pledged to make any sacrifice possible and explore any option reasonable to rescue the abducted pupils and teachers recently kidnapped at the Orire local government area of Gumosho. The governor stated this on Tuesday while addressing a group of protesters led by an activist and social commentator, Martins Vincent Ose, also known as Very Dark Man VDM, at his Ikolaba private residence. Details are presented by the Governor's Office correspondent, Oluyole Sulaiman.
A group of protesters led by activist and social commentator Martins Vincent Ose, popularly known as Very Dark Man VDM, visited the private Ikolaba residence of Oyo State Governor Engineer Seyi Makinde. The protesters converged on the governor's residence to express their concerns and demand urgent action over the abduction of teachers and students in Orire local government area of the state. Responding to the concerns raised by the protesters over the abduction of the students and teachers in Orire, Oyo State Governor Engineer Seyi Makinde stated that security architecture currently deployed for the rescue operation is capable of securing the safe release of the victims with minimal casualties. Governor Makinde disclosed that based on available intelligence, no additional casualty has been recorded among the abductees following the killing of the mathematics teacher.
If government starts negotiating with bandits, it means we're surrendering sovereignty to the bandits. But in this special situation, we want those children alive. We have to bend backward. But once the children are out, I give you the assurance that it will not occur again.
Speaking on behalf of the protesters, activist and social commentator Very Dark Man expressed concern over the fate of the abducted students and teachers in Orire local government. He said the group was prepared to support security agencies in efforts to rescue the victims, stressing that residents have become increasingly worried due to the lack of information on the condition of the children. He therefore called on the state government to always provide clear information on the ongoing rescue effort and the plans being put in place to secure the safe return of the abducted students and teachers. Oluyole Sulaiman, BCS News.
A High Court of the Federal Capital Territory FCT in Abuja has dismissed an application filed by former Kogi State Governor Yahya Bello challenging the court's jurisdiction to hear the 110 billion naira fraud case instituted against him by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission EFCC. Delivering the ruling today, Justice Miriam Aneni held that the court was competent to entertain the case and consequently rejected Bello's request to strike out the 16-count charge brought against him by the anti-graft agency. Bello, through his counsel, Joseph Daudu San, SAN, had argued that the FCT High Court lacked territorial jurisdiction over the matter. The defense also contended that the charge constituted an abuse of court process, citing the existence of a related criminal case involving the former governor before the Federal High Court in Abuja. However, counsel to the EFCC, Kemi Pinheiro, SAN, opposed the application, describing it as lacking merit and aimed at delaying the trial.
Justice Osatome Obaseki Osagaye of the National Industrial Court of Nigeria has ordered the federal government and the Registrar of Trade Unions to register the newly formed National Association of Non-Teaching Staff of Nigerian University, NANS, as a trade union. Delivering judgment, Justice Osagaye directed the defendants to register NANS as a trade union under the Trade Union Act. The university workers had earlier approached the court through Comrade Akinibi, seeking an order compelling the government to register the National Association of Non-Teaching Staff of Nigeria Universities as a trade union. The defendants in the suit are the Registrar of Trade Unions, the Minister of Labour and Employment, and the Attorney General of the Federation. The court held that the refusal of the first and second defendants to register NANS as a trade union was wrongful. It also restrained the defendants and their agents from denying the claimant registration as a trade union under the Trade Union Act.
This broadcast of Newscope is coming to you from the Broadcasting Corporation of Oyo State, Ibadan. Oyo State Governor Engineer Seyi Makinde today played host to a European Union delegation led by Ambassador Gabriel McNaught, the European Union ambassador to Nigeria and ECOWAS, and his private residence in Ibadan. The meeting, which centered on collaboration between Oyo State and the EU for agricultural development, education, and the fight against gender-based violence, had in attendance Professor Leila Benamo Matthew, Head of Section for Human Development at the European Union in Nigeria, Dr. Debo Akande, Executive Advisor on Agribusiness and International Cooperation to Oyo State Governor, and Reverend Idowu Ogedengbe, Executive Assistant on Administration. The governor later went into a private session with Ambassador McNaught. Addressing journalists after the meeting, the team noted that it was his first time in the state, said the parties discussed agricultural development and climate change at length with a view to strengthening Oyo State's profile as a critical food basket of the country.
The Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of Information and Communication Technology, ICT, who also doubles as the Supervising Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of the Southwest Geopolitical Zone, GID, Fayade Adegoke, today commenced his official tour of duty of the Southwest Geopolitical Zone in Ibadan, Oyo State. The engagement, held at the Oyo State Police Command Headquarters, Eleyele Ibadan, brought together critical stakeholders alongside officers and men of the command in a strategic interaction aimed at strengthening policing effectiveness, deepening public confidence, and enhancing collaborative security efforts. In his welcome address, the Commissioner of Police, Oyo State Command, CP Abimbola Olugbemiga, described the visit as timely and significant in reinforcing existing synergy between the police and members of the public. He noted that the visit presents an opportunity to assess the prevailing security architecture in the state, while reaffirming the command's unwavering commitment to the protection of lives and property. The Commissioner further assured residents that the command remains resolute in sustaining proactive policing measures and fostering stronger community participation toward maintaining peace and public safety across Oyo State.
His correspondent, Olalekan Sulaiman.
The property located in Benku community along the Arubiewe Road, Olodo Ibadan, was pulled down and monitored by officials of Ministry of Public Works and Transportation, led by the Commissioner, Honorable Majid Mugbojubola. Security was also provided by officers and men of the Nigeria Police Force, who monitored the exercise to ensure order throughout the demolition of the suspected criminal hideout. Addressing journalists, Honorable Mugbojubola disclosed that security agencies uncovered the alleged cache of weapons during an investigation. According to the Commissioner, the demolition followed a directive by Governor Seyi Makinde in line with the administration's commitment to tackling insecurity and criminal activities in Oyo State.
Just a few days after, we just discovered this place again. It's a big hideout for arms and ammunition, heavy ones, and there's been investigation on it. The CP, Commissioner of Police, have given a report to His Excellency on the whole process. And instruction came that we should demolish, and that's what we're doing right now. And like I always said, what we're saying right now is like telling the whole world that this is a big deterrent for I mean, these people that are doing evil in your state, that His Excellency won't tolerate all these inadequacies and these bad eggs in the state.
Honorable Mobojwala urged residents to remain vigilant and promptly report suspicious activities within their communities. He also advised landlords and property agents to carry out proper background check on prospective tenants before leasing their properties. Oluyole Sulaiman, BCS News.
High-ranking United States and Iranian representatives are set to formally sign a framework agreement at ending the war in Iran at a luxury resort overlooking Switzerland's Lake Lucerne on Friday. The Swiss Foreign Ministry confirmed that the signing ceremony will take place in a hotel high in Bergenstock Mountain Ridge, which previously hosted a conference in Ukraine in 2024. Pakistan, which has been mediating between the Washington and Tehran, had previously suggested the signing could be held in Geneva. Iran and the United States have already signed the preliminary agreement digitally. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said a further round of negotiation is due to begin immediately after the signing on Friday.
The Oyo State Governor, Engineer Seyi Makinde, has pledged to make any sacrifice possible and explore any option reasonable to rescue the abducted pupils and teachers recently kidnapped at Oluyole local government area, Ogbomoso.
President Tinubu has extended greetings to Muslims in Nigeria across the world on occasion of the Islamic New Year, the first Muharram 1448 AH, urging citizens to embrace patriotism and good citizenship.
A High Court of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, in Abuja has dismissed an application filed by former Kogi State Governor Yahya Bello challenging the court's jurisdiction to hear the 110 billion naira fraud case instituted against him by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC.
High-ranking United States and Iranian representatives are set to formally sign a framework agreement aimed at ending the war in Iran at a luxury resort overlooking Switzerland's Lake Lucerne on Friday.
If you see something suspicious, alert the authorities immediately for timely response. Be vigilant. And that's all from Newscope Desk for now. It was packaged by Kendi Adeyemi and delivered by
Adetoke Olaleye.
I am Josephine Oluwabome. Thanks for listening. Do not forget to tune in for the Yoruba version at 8 p.m. Good evening.
Charity ẹ̀yin tí wà ní BCOS ṣe ti gbọ́ pé BCOS ti wà lórí Naija TV app ṣe ti rí pé no be play play na be reality confam ní ẹ ṣá máa wá kárí ayé o BCOS to the world BCOS ilé akéde. ẹ̀yin tí wà lólúyọ̀lé FM ṣe ti gbọ́ pé a ti wà lórí radio box ẹ lọ síbẹ̀ kẹ́ máa gbọ́ wa kedere ó kilẹ̀ létí ó milẹ̀ létí. Oluyole FM 98.5 Oluyole lórí radio box app. ẹ̀yin tí wà ní BCOS ṣe ti gbọ́ pé BCOS ti wà lórí Naija TV app ṣe ti rí pé no be play play na reality confam ní ẹ ṣá máa wò wá kárí ayé o BCOS to the world BCOS ilé akéde. BCOS ti wà lórí Naija TV app lórí àtẹ ìkànnì ayélujára Naija TV ẹ̀ka tó ń pawó wọlé commercial department ti BCOS ilé akéde ló ní ká sọ fún gbogbo wa pé láti túbọ̀ máa jẹ̀gbádùn àwọn ètò ọlọ́kanjọ̀kan wa lórí ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ rẹ ìwọ sá ti lọ sórí Google Play Store tàbí lórí Apple Store kó download Naija TV app NAIJA kó wá fi space kan sílẹ̀ kó tẹ TV ló bá tán bákan náà lórí ìkànnì Olúyọ̀lé 98
98.5 FM ẹ lè máa gbọ́ wa ketekete lórí Radio Box app kò le rárá láti lò lórí Play Store rẹ tàbí lórí Apple Store ìwọ sá ti tẹ Radio Box kó o sì dáńlódù Radio Box app sórí fóònù rẹ ló bá tán kó o bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní jẹ̀gbádùn àwọn ètò wa ọlọ́kan òjọ̀kan lórí Olúyọ̀lé 98.5 FM kó o sì bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní jẹ̀gbádùn ayé díjítà nípa wíwo BCOS ilé akéde lórí Naija TV níbikíbi tó o bá wà lórí ẹ̀rọ ayélujára kárí ayé.
ẹni lórí lórí ń fọ́ o ẹni lórí lórí ń fọ́ o ẹni lórí lórí ń fọ́ o ẹni lórí lórí ń fọ́ ẹ̀ ń kẹ́hìndé ipa tí ẹ̀ ń kó ṣòro apá ọmọdé ó kájí ó ṣe ẹni lórí lórí ń fọ́ o ẹni lórí lórí ń fọ́ o ẹni lórí lórí ń fọ́ ẹni lórí lórí ń fọ́ o ẹni lórí lórí ń fọ́ ẹ̀ ń kẹ́hìndé ipa tí ẹ̀ ń kó ṣòro apá ọmọdé ó kájí ó ṣe ẹni lórí lórí ń fọ́ o. ẹ̀sùn wọn bí kẹwàá gbà lábàárí mi ọ̀rọ̀ lórí sùúrù ńlá fẹ́ wí lọ́mọdé lágbà ẹ̀ wá gba ìbí kọ́gbọ́n orin tuntun. ẹ̀sìn lónìí bàtàkùn ẹ̀sìn lónìí bàtàkùn ẹ̀bùn ló lọ́gbọ̀n ó dídọ̀ lónìí wọ́ ẹ̀sìn lónìí bàtàkùn.
on to Oluyole 98.5 FM. As this time is 6:00, it is now time for Talk with Genzo. Do enjoy it.
Talk with Genzo. Talk with Genzo. Inspirational, motivation.